What is going on, YouTube? It is the leader of the Nightmare Nation, your boy Jay Myers, back for another Nightmare Reviews. Today, we take a look at SummerSlam 2022. Let's slash into it. Welcome back to another Nightmare Reviews, and today we are diving into SummerSlam 2022. And spoiler alert, what a show it was. First up, let us get into fantastic opening match, fantastic opening segment. Just a really great way to kick off the night. We had Bianca and Becky, and man, oh man, what a roller coaster. We had a great match, followed up with a great finish. My favorite thing to this was the chemistry that these two have. It is very clear that these two women work really well together, and it was a different match from what we saw at WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania widely respected as one of the greatest matches of the year between these two women. But tonight, SummerSlam, they really showed that they were able to offer a little bit of different style, aggressive nature from Bianca throughout. I was really enjoying the chemistry in the match. So I thought the crowd was a little slow to get into it, but then once they started to really kick it into high gear, the crowd was really behind. And then what a great, fantastic finish. We had KODs on the outside. We had kind of setups. We had another KO inside. It was just a really strong finish, and topped off with some interesting returns and new hires and people we haven't seen before, with the Bayley return and Becky seemingly turning face at the end as that little altercation was going on in the ring. But a fantastic match. I thought it was a really good way to kick off the show. Really good start. And definitely getting a machete up on this one. All right, next up we had the Logan Paul versus Miz, and maybe what the one match on the card that maybe some of you weren't totally looking forward to, but I think, in my opinion, might have stolen the show on this card. It was a pretty stacked card, but Logan Paul just comes out, and as much as you want to hate this guy, you just don't want to cheer for him. You just refuse to buy into him. Man, oh man, he just continues to impress. So many cool spots in this match. The frog splash to the outside on the table. Some of the moves he was pulling off in the ring. It is clear to me that Logan Paul is really good at. He's really picked up on the wrestling, the technical aspects, everything that becomes inside the ring to do what they do. However, it's still, I think the one thing I will say about Paul, as I noticed throughout the night and throughout the match, he just is missing that little bit of the comfort, the little bit of the smoothness, but I think that's going to come. And other than that, the guy's clearly good at pro wrestling, and I was really excited to see this match and see how it unfolded. They gave it great time. I think it was 14-15 minutes. Some of the highlights, you get to see Ciampa in a new light as well. Like, that was fantastic. Ciampa and Maurice coming alongside. We also had AJ mixed in there. That was a cool spot. Just overall fun match. I think this was the match on the card that we just needed it to be fun. And boy, oh boy, is Miz good at what he does. Miz's number one job was to put Logan Paul over in that match, make him look good, make him look like a star. And you can't tell me he didn't do a fantastic bang-up job of that. So I have nothing really bad to say about this match. Even in times where it looked like Paul was stumbling a little bit, hard to tell because Miz made him look so good. So machete up for me on this one, and I am all in on the Logan Paul train. Say what you will. Bury me if you want. Give me the heat you want, but I am okay with Logan Paul being on my TV screen in a WWE ring. So be it. All right, next up we get a grandiose entrance for Bobby Lashley on this one. Pyro galore. He's halfway up the ramp. We see the gongs kick in, and boom, man, that was a pretty cool entrance for Bobby Lashley. This match was super quick. Didn't get a whole lot of time. Obviously, they had a lot of work with on this card, so they had to get a lot in. But I do think, even though it was a quick match, I do think it was effective. The flow of the match went really well. Theory got beat up a lot, which is good. People like to see that guy beat up, so I think that was always a nice piece to that match. So I think it got the job done with the time they had, and the result was what it was. I think I didn't see Theory winning this match anyway, so Bobby going over again, keeping the belt, looking strong. The one thing the consistent thing that I've been noticing with Theory and Bobby in this little run that they've had, I really just wish the Theory wouldn't tap out of the Hurt Lock so quick, but just some sort of small detail on my end. Maybe it strengthens Bobby, but I feel like it makes Austin look weak, but maybe that's the point because he's a weak little heel. So I guess in that sense it's for the best. But I really like this match. Machete up for me on this one, and nothing really more than quick match. Did its purpose, did the job it did. We get Bobby Lashley looking great. Huge entrance for him. So kudos to both of them on this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with Bobby and Theory both going forward. All right, now on to the match that honestly and admittedly I was probably the least looking forward to with the Mysterios and the Judgment Day, and that's only because I can't buy into Dominik. I'm sorry, no matter how much they try and make me, I just can't buy into Dominik as a legitimate star or in there with guys like a Damian Priest and a Finn Balor and even with his dad. I don't buy it. But regardless, I was into it because it was a fun night already up to this point. It was exactly probably what we thought it was, a bit all over the place. The no DQ thing I always thought was weird because shouldn't it have just been a tornado match if there's no DQ while you're tagging? Regardless, we got Rhea in there. Rhea had a spot where she dominates Dominik and just sort of smashes him into the apron. Thought that was really cool. We had some shenanigans. We had some back and forth. But I think the biggest takeaway from this match, even though it had about 10 minutes, obviously the thing that stands out the most is the Edge return. So we get a really cool Edge entrance, sort of a new, I think, devilish, brood-ish. I don't really quite know where they're going with it. I will say this. The second I saw that T-shirt on Edge, I was like, I will have that T-shirt. That will be my T-shirt. So I can't wait to go on WWE Shop and buy that one. But Edge looked cool. He had a kind of a new haircut again, kind of a new look, red leather jacket. It's clear they were trying to go with some sort of demonic devil look with him. Anyway, beats it to the ring, takes out Priest, runs in the ring, takes out Balor, then takes out Priest again, and we get the finish. So the match was lagging a bit, I will say that, but the whole Edge appearance, him showing up just really made it for a pretty strong match, and I can't say it was a down match for me. So again, Machete up for this one because it was again another fun match, did its job. We got Edge back. Even if it wasn't with Bray Wyatt that we were all hoping for, it was still Edge back. So kudos that. And Rhea, again, gets to shine in there a little bit. I'm always for that. Rhea really needs to be a massive star going forward. So, yeah, I was completely happy with this match, and I thought it was a fun way to kind of hopefully end this little feud. Maybe it expands it a little bit, but we get Edge back, and now maybe we can see something more build from that. So great job. All right, now we get to one of my I mean, listen, Pat McAfee to me is some of the best TV right now in WWE television. So I was really jacked up for this match, really stoked to see how it would unfold. I'm a big McAfee guy, so needless to say, I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I know it probably wasn't the most technical of all matches. There was some slip-ups. There was some sort of, I don't want to say botches because they didn't really end up being botches, but none of that matters to me because we had a fun match that was quick-paced. Corbin just is so goddamn good at being a heel, and say whatever you want to Corbin and about Corbin and say that he sucks and he's boring. I say poo-poo on that because that man knows exactly what he has to do, and that is be the best damn heel he can be. And even in a way that's completely different from a Miz, he is just the best at being a bully and being a dick and just making people hate him and does not give two shits if anybody likes him or not. So just fantastic. And some of the spots in this match, I would even say Corbin really helped save McAfee in a lot of cases. The spot where the superplex from the top, Corbin definitely settled down McAfee on that one. The spot, the finish, so the whatever you want to call it, flipping sunset bomb, whatever that name is going to be attached to that move, Corbin definitely looked like he was able to steady the ship on that one and make it look cleaner than it should have. But also huge spot for Pat, for huge kudos to McAfee for steadying himself on that swanton to the outside. There was a ridiculous name and it escapes me right now, but I'm going to have to look it up. But Cole said it a couple times, but it was basically a swanton that it really looked like Pat McAfee was going to slip off that top rope or that into the outside there. So a great overall feel of this match. It was fun. They had a little bit of time, enough time to build a little bit of that story. We had some great spots. We had some interesting psychology. The crowd was into it. Oh, man, can't forget to mention Pat McAfee's entrance. Weird he didn't. I was a little thrown that he didn't have the Seven Nation Army, or whatever the hell that song's called. I'm not a big White Stripes fan, but they had a cooler version of that, in my opinion, with the sing-along version and the new Tron that he had. It was just a really cool entrance for McAfee, doing the hand bobbing thing. So I'm all in on that as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I will give this one a machete up as well, because it just flowed really well. It was exactly what we thought it would be. We didn't have any implications that this was going to be technically sound catch-as-catch-can match. So I think if you were looking for that, you were silly to begin with. So kudos to both men. They really put on a great show, and I am excited to see more McAfee matches, and I always love Corbin, so give me more Corbin as well. But yeah, machete up on this one. All right, so this leads me into, honestly, one of the matches I was the most disappointed with, only because it was my expectation, and I had really high hopes for this unified tag team match between the Usos and the Street Profits, mostly because of the match they had at Money in the Bank. I was so into that match. It was such a great, emotional ride and just solid match overall, and I was just surprised, actually, because I'm not a big Usos guy. I've mentioned this before. And not to say that this match really was flawed in any way or poor or not well done. It did not live up to my hope and my expectation of what the match was going to turn out to be. I also found it a little anticlimactic. Jarrett being in there was great, but I don't think Jarrett really added anything. So I was hoping Jarrett would actually get a little more involved than he did. There were some sort of hints at it. There was Tez getting a little frustrated. We had a little bit of glimpses of what that Tez might look like if he did turn heel. But overall, I just thought it didn't live up to what I was really hoping for. And that is the main reason why I give it a machete down. They got time. We got Usos still with the reign, but I just thought it could have benefited from more. It could have, if this was the time, give it to the Profits. They had a big entrance, matching Titans gear, all that stuff. Yeah, so I guess for me overall, it was a bit of a letdown based on what I was hoping it was going to turn out to be. All right, from here we get the SmackDown Women's Championship match, and at this point we're running well into the show. We've got a great crowd going. We've had lots of great matches. And so I think this match suffered from all of that, maybe the timing, maybe the crowd kind of ups and downs throughout the night. I just didn't feel this match was overly exciting. One, it was really super duper short for a women's title match. I think it was less than 5 minutes. I know a lot of you out there are maybe going to be critical of Liv, maybe critical of Ronda. I thought Ronda actually did a pretty good job of doing her shtick. And I thought Liv did a pretty good job of doing her bit where she's the underdog, right? She was playing the underdog the whole match. My problem with the match was it did feel a little sloppy. It was really slow to get started. The crowd didn't seem super into it. So that was probably affecting how I was viewing it on my TV. And I just think it was hard for me to buy into Liv's believability with Ronda. And it just, and rightly so, on purpose, they did make it, the whole build of the match, the whole psychology of the match was, she is going to have to tap out because she's just not up to Ronda's level. However, the reason why I'm going to save this match and give it a machete up is the fact that the ending saved it for me. And some of you may disagree. Some of you may argue that the ending made it worse. I think that was the only really good way to keep the title on Liv, but keep Ronda strong. And if the outcome, the resulting outcome of this match is that we get a heel Ronda, which I think she's more suited for. I'm not buying this happy-go-lucky babyface Ronda. She's a badass. Treat her like Brock, but in a way that she can't do the Brock sort of babyface, I don't think, in that she's not as maybe charismatic as Brock in that sense. So you got to give her something that she can work with. I think she can absolutely work with being a badass heel that just kicks the shit out of everybody, and don't have to make her a bully, but you definitely can make her just be that sort of that dominating character on TV where she is a monster, really, the best way to put it. So I thought that the finish was one that they could allude to the fact that Ronda didn't really lose. She actually won, but Liv gets to keep the belt, and it's a clean in the sense of there was a pin, but we didn't have to get a count over. We didn't have to get a DQ. We didn't have to get any rubbish interference. So I was, in that sense, happy with the ending. So it gets a machete up for me on that, for that reason only. That ending been any different, I probably would have thought this was a machete down for me. All right, and did they save the best for last? Man, oh man, could I have had any more fun with this match at whatever hour of the evening it was when I was watching it? Absolutely not. Man, this match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was so much fun, so enjoyable to me. Totally forgot that we had the canned last man standing rules because it worked so bloody well. I was so into it. Even when you get, usually for me, and the reason I say that is usually with the last man standing match, I'm dreading them because you get the count, and then they get up, and then you get another count, and they get up, and it's just over and over, rinse, repeat until you finally get the winner. They did that in this match, but it by no means felt monotonous or repetitive, or the emotion in the match up to that point when we started to get all these 9 counts. Man, I was so into it, and can we just, whoever came up with the tractor lifting the ring bit, kudos, man. Like, you get chef's kiss on that one because it couldn't have been better. The visual of the ring being up, like, into the sky, the corner of the ring being up in the sky was amazing for like the whole last third of the match, or the last 5-10 minutes of the match. Just, that was so good. Yeah, we had a lot of involvement with the Usos and Paul Heyman, but it worked. It was so cool. Brock just shrugging them off and still getting up and still being the beast, and Roman needing all that help, I think, just adds to his allure, and that he is that monster, he is the beast. Heyman was spectacular. Heyman taking that bump was spectacular. The tractor being involved was amazing. And then back to the tractor lifting the ring bit, when Roman stumbled out of the ring, and like when that ring was going up and he lunges at the rope to try and grab it and rolls backwards, man, oh man, I got a kick out of that. That looks so cool with the wide panned out angle. And if you said you didn't like anything about this match, I said you're not a fan of pro wrestling, because it was just wild and crazy. We didn't get any catch can in the middle of the ring. We got everything from the start. It was from the get-go, from the hop, madness and chaotic, and I loved every second of it. And I thought that was a really good way to finish the night, burying Brock in those chairs and the furniture and the table, and the genuine response from Corey Graves and concern. And at one point he said, he can't breathe, and like just made it feel so big. We've had that pile on spot before. I get it. People are going to say, well, they've done that before. They did it with this angle, they did it with that angle. But there's only so many ways you can keep a man down for a 10 count. And physically impeding him from getting up, pretty good reason why you can't get up. And if you're going to keep Brock down, that's pretty much the only way you can do it, apart from handcuffing him or chaining him to the ring. So I thought they couldn't have done a better job with that, the way it finished. It was a great feel of the match. The emotion was high. The crowd was into it. Brock was having fun. You could tell Brock was having fun. How couldn't you be? I mean, even Roman was probably having fun, even with all those vicious table spots, like the one where Brock threw him through the broken table. I mean, that was really vicious looking. I can't think of 1 second in that match that I didn't enjoy it, and it was a 23-ish minute long match. I enjoyed every single second of that match, and that is a testament to a gimmick match like that. So if this is how we end Brock and Roman's kind of storied run together, kudos, because they couldn't have done a better job to finish that out, and especially given that they kind of threw this match together with substitutions and Brock coming in, and I thought it was a fantastic glimpse into what we might get in the Triple H era, and I don't know, like there wouldn't be anything I would even change about that match. So 2, 3, 4, 8 big machetes up for me on this match, because it was immensely fun. It did everything it needed to do and keeping me involved, and the emotions were high. And Roman gets to keep the title and go forward, and the Usos looked good, but then got buried, and Heyman looked great, and then got buried, and it was like, man, oh man, this is just a fun match. So nothing I would change about this match, which means it gets the highest honor it can get. So fantastic match to end the night. Fantastic finish to this feud, if that is the case. If we are getting the end of this feud, then I think they really wrapped it up perfectly. All right, that was a lot to go through. Hope you enjoyed my takes on it. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. I think for me overall, given that I only really downed one match, and that was a tough one for me to down, I'm giving this show 4.5 masks out of 5. I think we had a fun show, an energetic show. We got surprises a little bit. We got some edge. We got some returns. We got a ton of just cool stuff that we haven't seen in a while, and it was just an enjoyable show. And when I turn on a premium live event, I don't have anything that I need more than just to be entertained. And if you weren't entertained in the show, man, I don't know what you're watching, because even in the worst spots, it was still pretty enjoyable show. I thought the commentary was fantastic between Corey Graves and Michael Cole, which was the team for most of the night. I thought they really work well together, and it's pretty clear, given this new era of freedom, I guess, if you will. I don't necessarily know if it's freedom, but the perception of freedom on the commentary team, it really shows. There was some great lines. Corey Graves basically ripping on Cole for saying he liked him better when he didn't have an opinion. Really enjoyed that line. And it really makes me happy, and I'm optimistic, I guess is a better word, going forward about where we take the WWE into this new generation, I guess, if you will, with Triple H running. For all intents and purposes, he's the booker now. He's the head of talent relations, and he's the head of creative. So, in lack of a better term, he's the booker. So his vision of WWE going forward is going to be a good one, I think, in my opinion. So overall, fantastic show. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment, give me your take. Am I out to lunch? Am I lunatic for some of my comments? I hope you will at least say it was an enjoyable show. But maybe you didn't. Maybe you hated it. That's your right. You can say whatever you want and think whatever you want. As long as you watch the video, that's all that matters. So till next time, this has been Nightmare Reviews, SummerSlam 2022, and happy trails.